Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you're doing okay. Here we are, back on the boat again. We are now well and truly into December. It's pretty much rained non-stop for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks at this point. We've even had snow up here, or certainly in North York Moors, just up the road we did. Don't know if we did at the marina, but I suspect we did. But as you can see at the moment, it is actually lovely and sunny. So, job time. There's a couple of things I want to do. I want to come and stay on the boat over winter. The problem is I've got the split exhaust pipe I spoke about in previous videos, not done anything about it. I'm now going to take that off and go and get that replaced. The other thing I'm going to do is 12-volt battery. So if you remember right at the beginning, I fitted this thing, C-Smart, which disinfects the incoming river seawater that's used for flushing the toilet, and it kills the bacteria in it, which is what creates a kind of hydrogen sulfide, I think it is, smell, the really rotten egg, nasty smell, burn your eyes. So yeah, so I'm going to put my new battery in, take a 5-minute job, get the hose pipe off, get the exhaust pipe off. That'll be, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour to reach in there, get in, get it off. And then the final thing I've got to do is, obviously it's getting close to Christmas. As we saw last time, Emma put some Christmas lights around there. And I've got some additional ones which she's sent through, which apparently I've got to run around here and put on sprinkle, and they're just white. So we've done that. And then you may have noticed from my other video, when we did the night videos, that I complained that some of my lights didn't work. And when I very first got the boat, if you remember, almost 2 years ago now, wow, I put all new LEDs in. So I've got a feeling that either those LED bulbs have blown, which I doubt it, they're LEDs, but I think we've not had firm connections into the holder, and they've probably, kind of slipped loose. And let me show you why I think that. Right, found them. So the first set of lights I bought were these ones, cheap and cheerful off eBay, and let me show you why. So these were the factory bulbs, these little tiny orange things, and as you can see, we just slot straight in. Okay, and these were the LED ones, and again it's got the same connection, just slot straight in. But if you actually hold them side by side, you can see that the LEDs are much wider. We have this shank, this column around them, and they're much longer. So we didn't really allow the plug to sit firmly in the back of the instrument. Now for some of them, what I had to do was I had to shave this collar off, and I'll show you when I take them out. I'd shave that off with my Stanley knife. Now the problem is that collar is used for holding it in place. If you take the collar off, it all kind of starts to fall apart. So I think that banging and everything and back and forth, these have just fallen out. I don't think it's that they don't work, I think we've just fallen out. So I've bought 2 replacement types. The first are red, because this was the other thing I noticed. They weren't very bright. They were white, brilliant white, but they weren't very bright. So I thought, well, maybe I can get some more powerful ones, and maybe I can go with red. So it's starting to rain again. So I bought these. Now these are a slightly different style of LED. They should be the same size, as in the same size connectors, but instead of just having little tiny bits of wire like those, they're actually circuit board, little PCB circuit boards, and they have surface mounted LEDs on the sides and the top. So that should be a lot brighter than that, and it should also be red. I've got a packet full of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put half of the dials into red, hoping we can fit, because the one thing I don't know is if that shank there will actually fit in the hole. I'm not sure. If it won't, then I'm kind of screwed because I can't make it smaller because it's got SMD LEDs on it. But we'll see. So I'm going to try those. Half of them are going to go red. And the other half, a little bit more expensive, these ones. These are brilliant white again, or like a bluey white. But these are interesting because they're not quite as powerful as the reds. But, and it's difficult to get these out. And I'll show you why. So, that's the other ones. And again, we have a white on the tip, a light on the tip and a light on the side, and we're just a circuit board thing rather than wires. But, that's interesting because they also come with this. So, I don't know if you've ever taken dials out before, but they get their power usually from like a dial feed, and so these LEDs fit inside a little cup which plugs and pushes, and these little copper pins around the side are where it gets power from the actual device. Now I don't know if those sockets will work on this because I couldn't remember if they were actually powered gauges or not, but I bought them, and these are kind of a bright whitey blue. But they are smaller, so these are much more basically the same width as the factory bulbs, so these will definitely fit. Wow, hope you can hear that. So that's rain. So anyway, that is my plan. I'm going to pull that dash out, but I'm going to do that later as it's starting to get dark, because that way I can do a couple, power them up, see what they look like, and make a decision whether I want the reds or the whites or everything. So I'm going to leave that for a bit. So yeah, so the first job I'm going to do, because it's dependent on me going to the chandlery to get the exhaust. Well, actually no. First job I'm going to do is I'm going to change the battery on that C-Smart. So that's literally a 5-minute job. And since it's hammering it down, I'm guessing you guys can't hear very well. So let's go inside. Let's go back down the hole. We want... No, not that one. Yeah. We want a flathead screw. And all you do is unscrew the top. Come down. Where did I put that battery now? It's in my pocket. Standard 9-volt battery fitting. These batteries are actually lithium ions, so they last for ages. The last one lasted about a year. So that's that. I'm going to push it in. Stay. And then, where is it? Press the prime button to get some juice pushed down and in. So obviously it's been flat for about 3 or 4 weeks now, so the shit down there will stink. So we're just going to do that, and then fasten it back up. And now that's an automated timer, so that will automatically run whenever it knows it needs to, and it works it out based off how often you flush the loo, really. Just quickly, whilst I've got you as well, if ever you're on a Sealine S28 and you want to know where the bathroom light is, it's on the roof. You'd be surprised how many people can't find that. Just don't know why. Right, so job 1 done. I'm now going to go and climb my ass in the small box. You've seen me in it before. Small box at the bottom of the bed. I'm going to get down there, and then I'll be back to come and talk to you guys in a minute. So I'll be back shortly. Hi everyone, welcome back. So no doubt, as you've guessed and you can see, I am back in my cubby hole. So we are now going to take the exhaust pipe off the diesel heater. As you can see, it's let me put some light on that for you. It's been blowing a little bit. It's just soot, but it's not burnt anything. But yeah, so it needs to come off. So what we have is we have nut and bolt around the clamp there and a Jubilee clip. We have a clamp for holding the pipe still there, which has got a nut on it on that side and feels like a posi on that side. There is a massive tie wrap holding them together there. This is cool shielding, so if you look, the actual pipe gets wrapped with this cloth, and then it gets this kind of cool touch heat shielding, stop it from burning anything. So I've got to do a tie wrap, do that, release that clamp, come down, and then here is the Jubilee clip that you can see at the top. The pipe has obviously slipped a little bit, but it's under there, so I'm going to have to cut some of the shielding back to get to that, I think, unless after I've undone that clamp I can slide it up. So I have some tools. I have a Stanley knife in case I need to cut that. I have a posi and a flathead, because you never know. I have a little socket with a 10mm on it, so that of course is going to get lost, because that's a 10mm nut up there, and I believe these are 10mm nuts as well. I've got my torch, because even with all this light it's still the black hole up there, and some side cutters to cut a tie wrap. So first things first, I'm going to get that clamp off. If we can get that clamp off, that might allow me to slide this, which means I can disconnect this end first before I try and reach in to get to that and to this one, because for my size getting up to them is going to be interesting. So I'm going to I'm not going to video this because this could involve a lot of swearing. So I'm going to get to work doing this, and I will be back with you all shortly. So, exhaust pipe off. Let me show you what I had to do. So, first of all, cut the tie wrap. This is one of the vents that was tied to the exhaust, so I've had to disconnect it from there, and I've just shoved it, don't know what you can see, but up there, out of the way. So that got that out of the way. Then I undid the nut on the clip, which is there. Can you just see the clip there? So I undid that clip which was around there. Getting that back on is going to be fun because that's under tension. I get cramp in my left hand reaching, because I don't. The whole point is that a normal sized person can stand up in here, or at least get in, kneel here, and then get the upper half up there. I can't, because I don't fit through this gap, so I can only go to arm's reach. So undid the clip there, got that off, undid the clip there, and so what I had to do for this end, where is it? It's this end, is I just had to cut a little notch so I could get into it, and then finally just undo the clamp at that side, pull it all off, and here's our exhaust pipe. And you can see where it was leaking. It wasn't leaking from the exhaust pipe, it was leaking from a clamp. So it wasn't clamped cleanly on it. There's no, as far as I can see, actual breaks. It just wasn't clamped squarely on. So I'm going to go and see about buying a new piece anyway. I'll double check this bit to make sure. And then I'm going to get in there with a bit of sandpaper and just tidy up the skin fitting, and a couple of cloths, and just give all that sort of wipe, just so I can double check, make sure it's all nice and clean, and we'll get a good seat. And yeah, if I can't find any leaks on the exhaust pipe, then I'll just refit it. So I'm going to take this out now, go and have a good look in some actual daylight, and decide what I'm doing with it. So I'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back folks. So I've had my exhaust pipe up to a channel because I wanted a bit of advice. So this is the end that's been blowing, and hold on. Yeah, so this is the end that's been blowing, and I don't know if you can see, but there's soot on the outer walls all the way up to the tip, as opposed to it shiny on that side, sooty on the top. So we know that it's been leaking on this top side. Now, I'm going to try this with so many hands, in fact. Let me put the camera down. So, the problem, we think, is that it had this style of clamp. Now, if you look at this style of clamp, when it nips together at the top here, it doesn't actually put pressure on the pipe at this top side. What it does is it squeezes it up to a bulge. So if you imagine you're closing a circle, you end up with like a bulb shaped thing. So when it's been on here, Yeah, so when it's been on here, what we think is that it's squeezed the pipework at this top where it's been thing, so it's clamped it all the way down the side, but this top bit where it's been sooty has not been clamped. So yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to try some Jubilee clips, because although these aren't perfect, they're not ideal, what we do is we do still put clamping pressure at the top. So I'm going to go and put it back in with a stainless steel Jubilee clip. I'm going to do that on both sides, replacing both the old clamps, and hopefully that will make it work. And I've also got a pack of wipes, because I'm going to wipe down all the soot so I can see if it's still blowing and, you know, putting soot out everywhere. Hi all, welcome back. I'm in my hole. Got my cleaning towels, cleaning cloths, and I'm going to give that a really good scrub, or as best I can, to get as much off as I can. Interestingly, whilst I've been away and it rained, my socket set has water on it. See? Which means that that's leaked in from up there. Can you see those holes? Now, those holes are part of the seat fitting, so I can't really fill them because I have to screw and drill through them when I get these seats back. But it does mean that when I do fit the new seats, or when I do fit the seats back in, that I have to make sure I put a crap load of silicone up there so that it doesn't leak anymore. And at very worst case, I'll have to come back in here to silicone those holes up. So anyway, I'm going to have a clean and I will be back shortly. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, welcome back, folks. Well, in true boat fashion, nothing's ever simple. So I've got my exhaust back on and I've done my best to clean up that soot. It's pretty much ingrained, but it should be enough. There's a few white patches, so I can see if it's putting out more soot. I've got this side clamped up as well. I had to cut some of this shielding back. And now my new problem, well, actually, before I get into that, I can't fasten that up because I can only just reach it with my fingertips with one hand. I can't get both hands up there, so I can't hold that clamp shut and get the nut in. So I'm going to save that till I have a skinny person with me, and they can do it. And now my new problem is this. This is my vent pipe. It should be attached to that there, which is the cockpit heating thing, but of course it's come off because that Jubilee clip was never properly connected. So now I'm going to go up and try and unscrew my vent up there and try and see if I can get a good connection on at that end, put the vent back up, re-silicone it on, and then finally come down here and just hook it up to my heat. I'm leaving it disconnected so that I've got some movement on this pipe. But yeah, so I'm going to go and do that now. For those of you wondering how this type of vent comes off, and what you do is the one, you just kind of twist, grab and pull, it'll just pop out like that. All it is just simple barbs. Shouldn't take long, much pressure. The barbs are just there to hold it in rather than do anything difficult. And then all I've got to do is just 4 small little posies, take those out, and then that vent comes out. That's the pipe. I'm going to go and feed that pipe back through. I'm going to see if, well, this hole should be big enough for me to get the pipe and the vent and everything done here and then push it back in. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. And yeah, I'll be back shortly. So in true Bodger and Scarpa fashion, the screw, yeah, the screws that hold that vent in, you won't be able to see this I don't think, but are that rounded off that I had to use pliers to get them out. And water's obviously been sliding down previously because there's no silicone holding it on at all, or sealing the screw holes. And look how many screw holes there are for only 4 screws, 3 there and that knackered one. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all that out for starters, and then I'm going to clean this up on the inside, and then I'm going to put a silicone ring around this outer edge, and then when it goes back on, it can silicone on shut. That'll hold it tight, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this as well, but can you see just here on this top edge? It's not flat. It's been clamped wrong, so that's why the hose wasn't on. I've over clamped the Jubilee clip, but not had the hose pushed fully over the fitting, so it's just popped off. I mean, it's going to take 10 seconds to fix it. Why the fuck didn't we do it right in the first place? Beyond me. I don't know. I assume this was factory fitted, but just the workmanship is shocking. So I'm going to fix that, seal it properly so I had to stop getting water in through into my inner hull and onto my electric charger, which is directly, my battery charger is directly below this hole. So I'm going to give it a quick clean up, give it a quick tidy up, go and thread the pipe through from underneath. We'll seal it with a bit of silicone, and I'm going to put some silicone in these two holes here, which are the holes for the cup holder, which I'm also going to give a wipe down. And then everything's going back together with silicone. And yeah, hopefully that's it. Exhaust done. I can fire up the heater and check for leaks, and whilst it's building up to temperature, I can sort of stash out, because now it's getting dark enough that we can start to see lights. So cool. Right, I'll be back shortly. Hey everyone, welcome back. So vent is on. It's only got 3 screws in, but that should be fine because I've got a layer of silicone all the way around. I put a couple of dabs of silicone in my holes up here, so I'm just going to tidy that up a little bit because I've put miles too much on, so I'm going to push it through, make sure we get a full seal, and then a couple of screws and my cup holder goes back on. I'm not going to put the actual vent in just yet. I'm going to give it a while, let that silicone cure a little bit. It won't cure fully, but I just don't want this getting glued in place. So yeah, I'm just going to let that cure a little bit first, and I'll go back in my little hole and finish hooking up that vent now that that's done. Right, we are back in the hole, and I think we are done. So that vent's in, the pipe's on securely this time, it's not coming off. Silicone in, and conveniently it's almost as if I planned it. Look, you'd think I knew what I was doing. So exhaust on Jubilee clipped here, exhaust on Jubilee clipped there. I've just peeled a bit of this heat shield back. It does nothing, it's just venting pipe. It's the same stuff as this, but the wrapped it around the exhaust, that's the prime insulation, the cloth stuff. So I'm just going to get that on properly, get it fastened, get the Jubilee clip tight. I have my 7mm socket, and yeah, fire the heating up, see what happens. And what I don't want to see is that getting any blacker, so we'll see. Right then, howdy all. We're going to tackle these instruments now. So as you can see, there's only that one working. The rest are all turned off, are all out. So just not working. So I'm going to take this panel out now and start putting some LEDs in and see what happens. But the compass does actually light up with the most feeble LED ever. Lovely. Right, anyway, so panel out, and yeah, we'll get fixing some LEDs. Be right back. So that's a red LED versus one of the original white ones that I did. So that's very bright. The only problem I've got is that on the rev counters, the red LED, I don't know if you can see down that hole, so at the bottom was a little shanked bit, kind of step out, and the red LED is just 0.5 millimetre too big to fit in the hole. So I think I'm going to have to go with the blue LEDs. So I'm just going to try one of those now in the other dial and see what they look like before I change everything out. Well, holy shit, that's bright, that blue one, but it does fit in the hole, and it does fit in fully, so it's firmly insecure, whereas this just doesn't. I mean, the red would be much brighter if I could get it in the hole, but it doesn't. So I'm going to go with the blues. So in that one, sorry, those ones. I'm going to do them all in those colour, because those I know fit the holes. So I'm going to swap all these bulbs out. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Right, so this is all the LEDs swapped out. So that's off the port side bank, and that's off the starboard side bank, and everything is now lit up. Incredibly bright. Can't do anything about those. Those two don't seem to have general backlights because we have LEDs on them. But yeah, let me turn my arch lights off. So if I was out sailing at night, it would look like this, which is a damn sight better than it was. It means I can actually read and see everything on the dials very clearly. Cool. So now it's time to tidy up and put my Christmas lights back on. Yay! And yeah, head home. So I will turn my arch lights back on so I can see. So with that, I stand under the light. Is it better if I'm under the light? Probably not. So yeah, so with that we're done. Exhaust done. Vents are fixed. Pipe coming off vents is fixed. The battery's back in the C-Smart, and all my dash lights now work. So yeah, productive little day. This is probably quite a long video, so sorry for that, but hopefully you stuck with it. If you haven't already, please subscribe, or you know, at the very least like the videos. Not because it helps in any particular way, but it makes me, you know, it helps me know what you guys want to see and what you find interesting. So if a video doesn't get many likes, then I know it's not interesting. If it does, then you know, I know to make more like that. And if there's anything in particular you want to see or want me to do, just let me know. I suspect this winter's not going to be a good boating winter and more of a good job winter. So yeah, I'll catch up with you next time. In the meantime, stay safe everyone. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye bye.